Welcome back to our Subclone series. In this episode, we are going to be building a group channel. In the last couple of episodes, we did some of the foundational work that enables for channel creation, and that has allowed us to be able to create direct channel. In today's episode, we are going to be extending that functionality to support group channel creation. And so to get started, let's jump right into Xcode and start seeing what we need to do. And so we need to jump into our chat partner picker view model. There's a couple of things that I want us to do. And the first thing is to add a couple of properties to our channel dictionary. So in the last episode, of course, we had this create channel method that allows us to be able to create direct channel. We're actually going to be reusing that method to create a group channel as well, because a direct channel and a group channel are not that different. With the only difference that we have is the number of participants in the specific channel. The first thing I want us to add is actually to add a created by property. So right now in this channel dictionary, we don't even know who created the channel. And I would like for us to fix that. So I'm going to jump into our channel item. So in our channel item file, which is inside of our let's see, where is our channel item file? It's inside of our screens, channel, models, and then you have your channel item. So I would like to add another static, key here, which is going to be called created by. So I'm going to call it created by, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm going to use this field to store the specific creator of the channel. So I'm going to have that property right here into our channel item data model. I'm going to say created by, and it's going to be string, but it's not going to be optional because we want to be able to know who created the channel. So let's fix this. And let's come down here and let's map this key. So I'm going to say self.created by is going to be equals to this dictionary, and it's just going to be created by. And we know it's a string, and let's just default it to an empty string, but we know this should never be empty. So let's move on. The other thing that I want us to do is let's go back to our chat partner picker view model, and let's add that new property to our channel dictionary. So I'm going to say created by, and who created it? Well, the current UID. It's as simple as that, right? Because the created by is just a pointer to the specific owner of the channel. And in this instance, it's the currently logged in user that's creating that channel. The other thing I want us to actually just do right away is let's go right on create a function that's going to be responsible for creating the channel. So I'm going to remove this older function. I'm going to create a new function. I'm going to call it func create group channel. And create group channel is going to take in a potential group name, which is, as you remember, it's an optional string because you don't have to name your group. And it's going to, we're going to use completion handler here actually, and it's just going to return to us an escaping function. And all we're returning here is a channel item. So I'm going to call it new group, new channel actually, if I can type, new channel. And what is this create group channel going to be responsible for? Well, it's going to be calling this create channel method. So I'm going to say let's channel creation is equals to create channel. It's going to pass in the potential group name, okay, which is the same thing as the channel name. And I'm going to switch on it. So I'm going to switch channel creation results. When it's successful, I'm just going to do completion, and I'm going to return the actual channel item because this is going to be a channel in the success case parameter. So channel. And then in the failure, I'm just going to print something here. I'm going to say failed to create a group channel. And no worry, guys, we are going to handle the error cases in upcoming episodes. But for now, let's just have this. Let's just focus on the success scenario. And so what else do I want to do? Well, the first thing, eventually, I want us to lock out this create channel method. This should be a private method inside of our view model, but let's focus on the creation of group channel, which is what this episode is about. So I'm going to jump into our new group setup screen, which is inside of this folder. So let me close the chat folder. Inside of the channel folder, we have this new group setup screen, open a new tab. And I want this new group setup screen to actually have an onCreate closure as well. So that's the same thing we have on the chat partner picker screen. So if we go to the chat partner picker screen, we have this setup where, once a user creates a direct channel, we just fire this onCreate closure and we pass it to our channel tab screen. And so that's what basically dismisses it and pushes it to the chat room screen. And for us to recreate that same functionality for group channels, we need to use the same onCreate closure. So I'm just going to copy it to save us time, go to our new group setup screen, paste it right here. And then I'm going to go right down here. So in our create button, remember, this create button is what we're going to use to create a group channel. I'm just going to say view model dot create a group channel. The group name is going to be group name that we already have here. I think we have something called channel name. Yep. And if you remember, the channel name property is right up here. And then I am going to pass in that onCreate. So create a group channel, and then when you're done creating the group channel, fire this onCreate closure, which is going to dismiss the screen and push us to the chat room screen. Let us fix a couple of SwiftUI previews that's going to be broken by the introduction of this new closure. And I know we're going to have to do the same thing inside of our chat partner picker screen. So chat partner picker screen, inside of the navigation right here, it's expecting an onCreate now. So I don't need to even fill this out. I'm just going to say this onCreate. I'm going to pass in the onCreate above here. So this new group setup screen is returning an onCreate closure when we create a new group. Well, we have this other closure here again. We're just going to pass that right inside of it. So let me go right back here, set up new group setup screen. Once you're done creating a group channel, dismiss the screen and push us to the new screen. And so the first thing I want us to do to wrap everything up is let's run this in a simulator. So we're going to go to the simulator, run our project. So we're going to go to the channel tab. We're going to do new groups. Let us create a channel with QA user 11, QA user 18, and QA user 8. Let us call it iOS Dev Team. Okay, and let us click on the create button. So this should dismiss this new group setup screen and push to the chat room screen. So let's see if it does that. Boom, look at that. And it has the correct channel name. So we know we're inside of a group channel. And let us validate that by going to our Firebase backend. So if we go to our Firebase backend, as you can see, we have a new channel. So if I open up this channel node, I have 4 participants as the members count, which is correct, right? I have all the members UIDs, all the participants UID. I have the name property, I have the created by property, and I have the admin UIDs. That is awesome. So we are officially creating a channel now, a group channel. The next thing I would like for us to actually do is to handle some specific edge cases. So as you can tell, not all the time that a group channel is actually going to have a name, right? There are going to be scenarios where we don't name our group channel, and we want to be able to fix that scenario. And so right now, if we create a group channel without a name, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it just says QA user 11, and we don't want that. So we're going to go fix that logic. So I'm going to expand Xcode all the way, jump right back to our channel item. And what I want us to do actually, so we have right here, we have this new group chat property right here. And the first thing I actually want us to do is to fix a specific logic. So I'm going to change this from a UI int. I'm just going to change this to an int, this members count property field. And let me change this to an int as well. Just to save us some edit, I can already tell there's going to be a specific bug off screen. So let's just leave that as int, not UI int for now. The next thing I want us to do is, as you can see, we have this is group chat computer property. We want to be able to have a situation where, if a group channel does not have a name, we want to have something like username 1 and username 2 as the group channel title, as you can imagine. And for us to do that, I'm going to create a private computer property down here. I'm just going to call it group members name. And this needs to be a var. So I'll call it group member names. And it's just going to be a string, and I'm just going to be concatenating a bunch of strings. So what's the first thing I want us to do? Well, I want us to know the members count. So I'm going to say members count, but it's not just any members count. It's going to be members excluding the currently logged in user. So I'm going to get that. The second thing I want us to do is to get the full names of the people in the channel, excluding the currently logged in user. So it's an array of string, and all I'm just going to do is I'm going to say members excluding me, and I'm going to map it. Use this $ syntax to get the username into an array. And what's the next thing I want us to do? Well, I want us to use this logic, which is if the members count is greater than 2, well, is equals to 2. So that means if there's a total of 3 people in a specific channel, including the currently logged in user, I want the username to look like something like this, right? Else, if the members count is greater than 2, meaning if there's 3 or more members in a specific, if there's 4 or more members in a specific channel, meaning including the currently logged in user, I want it to look something like this, which is going to be username 1, username 2, and then it's going to say something like, and let's just say 10 orders. So that's what I want the group name styling to look like. And for us to do that, we need to do a little bit of string concatenation. And so for the first one, I'm just going to return full names, and I'm going to separate them. I'm going to join them using the and. Okay, so it's going to have username 1 and username 2. Meanwhile, if we have more than 2 members, excluding the currently logged in user, right? What I want us to do is let us first get the counts, the remaining counts. So I'm going to say remaining counts. And the remaining count is going to be the members count minus 2. Okay, and then I'm just going to return the full names array. I'm going to get the first 2 item. Okay, and then I'm going to join those first 2 item just with spaces and commas. So I'm going to say comma, space, and then, let's see. And then I'm going to append another string, and this string is going to have a comma this time around, and it's going to say, and we're going to do the remaining count now. So remaining count, okay, put a space, and then I'm going to say plus orders. And so that is going to create what we have right here, which is exactly what we want, something like that. Username 1, username 2, and 10 orders. And if for any reason none of this is true, that means we do not know the group channel member name. So I'm just going to say unknown. Is that how you spell unknown? If I remember how to spell again. All right, so now instead of using this magic string, we're going to call this group members names computer property. And the reason I'm making it a private property is because there's really no reason for us to be calling the group members name outside of this file. We just need to call this title computer property. And so this is a pretty good use of access modifiers. So now let's go validate and make sure everything is working as expected. Remember to change your members count to int instead of UI int. Okay. And let us run this. Let me run this in a simulator and let's create a new group channel. But this time around, we're not going to add a name to the group channel. I want to see how it computes that name property. So let's go to our channels tab. Let's create a new group channel. Let's do QA user 11, 18, 8. So 11, 18, and 8. Let's do next. No group name. Let's create. So we have 11, 18, and 1, 8. That is 1, 8. Okay, so let's validate that. We know that is working. Let's do a simpler one. Let's do new group. Let's do QA user 6 and QA user 3. And let's do next. And let's do create. So we have QA user 6 and QA user 3. So we know this version of the code is working. And that is awesome. And again, if we go back to our Firebase backend, we can validate that these channels are getting created. And we can see all of the members counts, all of the created by properties. And that is awesome. So the next thing I want us to actually do, now that we have the name property figured out, I would like for us to actually create what I call it's sort of like a message announcement. So like when you create a new message, when you create a new channel, we want to do some sort of a broadcast. And in order for us to do that, we're going to use something called admin messages. And so the next thing I want us to do is let's go into our chat folder. Inside of the model, let's create another file. This is going to be for the message item, but we're going to call it message item plus types. And the reason I'm just creating this in its own file right now is because I already know we're going to have a bunch of these types. So we might as well start cleaning it up. So message item plus types inside of our chat models file. And what are we doing here? Well, I want us to create an enum, and I'm going to call the enum admin messages. I'm going to call it admin message type. And the admin message type is going to have something like case channel creation. Okay, this lets you know that a channel was created. And then we're going to have case, member added. Okay, so in the case of a group channel, this is a new member added to that channel. We're going to have member removed or member left, removed, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to have one more case channel, or just call it name changed. Well, yeah, channel name changed. All right, and this admin messages, let's make it string. Let's make this enum string. And the next thing that I would like for us to do is to go back to our chat partner picker view model and let us update our channel creation logic. So inside of this create channel function, what I want us to do now is all the way right here, we're going to send a new message upon a new channel creation. And so we have this commented out message ID. I'm going to uncomment that. I'm going to use that message ID now. So we need to put a comma right here in this current UID. And what am I going to use the message ID for? Well, pretty simply, the first thing I want to do is I want to create something called a new message. I'm just going to call it new channel broadcast. So I'm going to say let's channel, or just new channel broadcast. And new channel broadcast is just going to be admin message type dot channel creation. And I'm just going to raw value. Okay. And I'm going to pass that as the last message for our channel dictionary right here in the last message property. And then I'm also going to send it into the channel as a message itself. And the way for us to do that is actually just to right below this Firebase constants channels ref, we're going to create Firebase constants. We're going to do them messages ref. Okay, remember this is the channel messages ref. We need the channel ID, which we already have. And we need the message ID, which we just created right up there. And we're just going to set the value. Okay, so what do we need to set? Well, we need a message dictionary. And so I'm going to create a message dictionary right up here. I'm going to say message dictionary. And the message dictionary is going to take in, it's going to be of type string to type any. Let's first typecast it. And it's going to take in a type, which is basically just a message type. And it's just going to be the, let's see, what do we want here? We want the channel, we want the new channel broadcast. It's going to take in a timestamp. So I can use the timestamp. Well, we don't have that yet. I'm going to create that in a little bit. We're going to have a timestamp, and it's going to be the timestamp right up there. And it's also going to take in the owner UID. And the owner UID is essentially who created the message. And in this instance, it's the currently logged in user because that's the person creating the channel. So we're going to take this message dictionary. We're going to pass it right here. And essentially what this allows us to do is right as we create a channel, we're also going to create a message that goes into that channel and says, hey, this channel has been created. I know right now we're using magic strings, so let's fix that really quickly into static properties like this. I just don't like using magic strings because when it comes to database properties, it's very easy to, mistype something, and they're very case sensitive. And so I'm going to jump into our message item, and I'm just going to copy all of this. I'm going to jump into message item, and I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to create an extension. So I'm going to say extension. And what is this extension going to be? It's going to be an extension on string, sort of like we did the other time. And I'm just going to create a bunch of static properties. So I'm going to say static let type, because I think type is a keyword. And type is just going to be of, it's a reserved keyword, it's just going to be of type. And I'm going to create another one for timestamp. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it 3 times, timestamp. So we have one for timestamp and owner UID, and we have one for owner UID, and this is going to be owner UID. This is going to be timestamp. And I like storing these keys in the specific data model that they're actually being used for. And the other thing I would actually like for us to do again also is I'm going to take this message type and message direction enums. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to migrate them inside of our message item plus types file. So these are basically going to contain a bunch of enums that we're using for our messages. The next thing I'm going to do is let's go back to our chat partner picker view model and let us replace this from a magic string to the statically typed. So this is the statically typed equivalence. It's just much cleaner. So I no longer need that. And this is now owner UID. Now I no longer have to be worried about typing in the wrong key for the database property. So let us test this this entire thing. Let us run our projects now. And this new message creation is going to come in handy when we start fetching messages in our channel, because that's what we're going to use to customize certain UIs. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Firebase real-time database. I'm going to delete the channel node just so I can see the new channel I'm about to create. I'm going to delete the user channel node as well. And I'm going to leave the users node. And so now I'm going to go back to Xcode, the simulator. Let's create a new group channel. So QA user 11 and QA user 18. Let's create a channel with both of them. Group channel with them. Let's do create. So it has the appropriate titles. Let us go to our Firebase real-time database. So we have our user channel, we have our channels, and then we have our channel messages. Let's make sure it created a new message. So we have channel creation as the type. Okay. And if we go to the new channel, we have the last message was channel creation. So that is awesome. So we have basically set up everything we need for group channels. We've set up the group channel, names and all of the other computations that we really need. I think the last thing that I would like for us to do, honestly, is to fix a specific bug right now in our group channel creation. So if we open up our group channel creation, let's say we select a bunch of group potential chat partners. Let's say these, 4 guys, we go next. If we go back and we go back to our chat partner picker screen, as you can see, if we go back to the new group screen again, these actual partners are still selected. And that is a bug, because that is going to, for example, if we do, let's say QA user 11 now, we've actually created a group channel, not a direct channel. And that's not, the functionality that we want. So if we select a bunch of group, people that we want to create a group channel with, and we go back, once we go back to this chat partner picker screen, all of these members should be deselected. So let us fix that very quickly. And the solution is very simple. We're going to go into our chat partner picker screen, and we're just going to append an onAppear modifier. So I'm going to kill the simulator. I'm going to append an onAppear modifier inside of our chat partner picker screen below the toolbar modifier. And what is this going to do? Well, first I need to add a delay, just because it would look nicer just with a delay. So I'm going to say dispatch queue.main.async after, and I'm going to say now plus 0.5. And what is the delay going to do? It's going to say view model dot selected chat partners dot remove all. So let us run this and let us test that our assumption is working now. Everything should be working as expected. So if I go to chat, if I go to new chat partner creations, new group chat creations, if I select all those chat partners, I go next, and then I go all the way back to our chat partner picker screen, and then I need new groups again. As you can see, they're not selected. And if I create a new channel with, let's say, QA user 5, it's still QA user 5 because it's a direct channel. And so that is pretty awesome. And honestly, we probably should just move this functionality into the view model. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to jump into the chat partner picker view model. So open a new tab, chat partner picker view model. I'm going to create another function up here as a public method, and I'm just going to call it func deselect all chat partners. And I'm going to paste this in here. That's this method responsible for it. And then I'm just going to go back. I'll just say deselect all chat partners. So this is asking for self. Let's just put self. I'm going to go back to my chat partner picker screen. And instead of doing this here, I'm just going to say view model dot deselect all chat partners once this view appears. So I think that's pretty much all that we need. Let's run our app again. Make sure everything is working as expected, and we are pretty much good to go. So let's go here, select a bunch of chat partners, go back, go new group again. They have been deselected. The other quick cleanup that I honestly would like for us to do, if we go back to our chat partner picker view model, so we have this method right here, this create channel method that is just exposed. I don't like that. I would like for us to have a situation where we do private func, right? And we just close off this method. It's only accessible from inside of the view model. And I would like for us instead to create another function that is publicly exposed, and we'll just call it create direct channel. And just like the group channel, it's going to have very similar functionality. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here, except, group direct channels don't have names. They don't have group names. So it's just going to give us a completion. And I'm honestly just going to copy exactly the same code. I'm just going to paste it here. This time around, I'm going to say field to create a direct channel. And let's see, channel creation name is going to be Neil. Okay. And that's pretty much it. And so this is going to yell at us because we're actually calling this method directly in our chat partner picker screen. So let's go to our chat partner picker screen. If we try to run the project, it should yell at us because we're calling the create method directly. So if we go here, as you can see, yep, I'm going to expand this a little bit. We are calling this create channel method directly from here. And this is just not necessary. And so the best thing for us to do, honestly, is to go, let us take all of this. Okay, let's take this onCreate because that's all we want to call. Let us remove everything in this untap gesture. And then we're just going to say view model dot create direct channel. I think that's what it's called. What did we call it? Did we call it create group channel? Oh, sorry guys. Let's go back to our chat partner picker view model and let's name that properly. So this should be called create direct channel. Sorry about that, guys. Create direct channel. This is create group channel. Pretty self-explanatory. And we're going to say view model dot create direct channel. And on completion, we're just going to pass in our onCreate closure. And I'm just going to Command A and indent everything. Command A, Control I, indents everything. Let me jump back to that create direct channel method to make sure everything is as expected. And not necessarily actually. So create direct channel should take in a user. So sorry about that. I'm going to say chat partner. Should take in a chat partner. So I'm going to say chat partner. And it's going to be of type user item. And everything else stays the same. And the other thing I would like to do here is I'll just say chat partner. I'll just say selected chat partners dot append. And I'm just going to say chat partner. Because remember, we have a guard statement that guards against channel creation if it doesn't have a chat partner. And I think that's really all that we need. So let us run our project. Let us create a direct channel. Make sure everything is still working. This is yelling at us. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah. Okay. So now it's asking for of course, the chat partner. And the chat partner is going to be this user inside of our for each. So inside of our chat partner picker screen, inside of our for each, this is the user we're creating a channel with. We're going to run that and we should be able to create a direct channels now and as well as a group channel. So let's go through this process again. Let's create a direct channel with, I don't know, QA user 26. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's go out there. Let's create a channel, a group channel with a bunch of people. Look at that. It's doing its job. And if we go back to our Firebase backend, everything seems to be working as suspected. Yep. And this is the last channel that we created. And yeah, everything is good to go. So that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to continue with channel creation and continue to flush out our chat functionality. Thank you for joining me in this episode. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Please like and subscribe. It means the world to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.